The rain hammered my garage roof like 1,000 angry fists while I lay under my Ford, watching oil drip into the pan. That's when I heard Angela's voice drift through the cracked window, clear as a bell over the storm. "He's so easy to fool, Mon. I could do so much better. Hell, I deserve better. Watch this. I'll have him eating out of my hand by the weekend." Monica's laugh followed. Sharp, cruel. I didn't move. Couldn't. The wrench in my hand felt suddenly heavy, like it weighed 1,000 pounds. "Does Kevin even suspect?" Monica asked. "Kevin? Please. He's too busy playing mechanic in his little garage to notice anything. It's perfect." Ah, true love. Now with extra humiliation. "I'm Kevin Walsh, by the way. 38 years old, warehouse supervisor at Brennan Logistics, amateur boxer at Murphy's Gym 3 nights a week, and apparently the world's biggest fool. I bought this house in Millbrook, New York, 6 years before I married Angela. Modest place, sure, but it's mine. Was mine. The mortgage is paid off, the foundation's solid, and I've fixed every broken thing in it with my own hands. Can't say the same about my marriage." I slid out from under the Ford, wiped my hands on a rag, and stared at the garage door. Through the rain-streaked window, I could see Angela and Monica sitting at my kitchen table, wine glasses in hand, laughing. Angela wore that blue dress I'd complimented last week. Her dark hair fell perfectly around her shoulders. She looked beautiful. She always did. That was the problem, wasn't it? I'd been so busy admiring the package that I'd missed what was inside. I walked into the house through the side door, making enough noise that they'd hear me coming. By the time I reached the kitchen, their conversation had shifted to something about a case at Angela's law firm. Smooth transition. Practiced. "Hey, babe," Angela said, flashing that smile that used to make my heart race. Now it just made my stomach turn. "You're all dirty." "Changing oil," I said. "Monica. Kevin." Monica's smile was tight. She'd never liked me much. The feeling was mutual. "I should go," Monica said, standing. "Early meeting tomorrow." "I'll walk you out," Angela said. I watched them through the window. More whispers, more laughs. Monica's hand on Angela's arm, reassuring, conspiratorial. When Angela came back inside, she was already on her phone, typing rapidly. "Everything okay?" I asked. "Just work stuff," she said, not looking up. "You know how it is." Yeah, I knew exactly how it was. The next morning, Angela left for work early. Said she had a deposition. I called in sick to Brennan's, first time in 3 years, and did something I'd never done before. I went through her things. Her purse was in the bedroom, designer leather, probably cost more than my monthly grocery bill. Inside, beneath the wallet and makeup bag, I found a receipt. Pinewood Motor Lodge, Route 9. 2 nights ago. The night she'd said she was working late on the Henderson case. Her phone was password protected, but Angela was predictable. Our anniversary, 6 digits. She'd never changed it. The messages loaded slowly, and with each one, my world cracked a little more. T-Dog. "Can't stop thinking about last night, Angela. Me either. Kevin's working late Thursday. Come over? T-Dog. Your place? Risky. I like it, Angela. He's clueless. It's fine, T-Dog. Of course. Why not just save the contact as homewrecker? I scrolled back. Weeks of messages, months maybe, photos I won't describe, plans made in my house, in my bed, while I was breaking my back at the warehouse. Trevor Hastings, T-Dog, our family friend. The guy who'd sold us our couch, who came to our barbecues, who'd clapped me on the shoulder last month and called me brother. My hands shook as I screenshotted everything, sent them to my email, deleted the sent messages from her phone, put everything back exactly as I'd found it. Then I sat on the edge of the bed we'd shared for 5 years and tried to remember how to breathe. At Murphy's Gym that afternoon, I hit the heavy bag until my knuckles bled through the wraps. Coach Eddie, 65 and tough as boot leather, watched from his usual spot by the ring. "You're gonna hurt yourself, Walsh," he called out. What's eating you? Nothing, I grunted, throwing another combination. Jab, cross, hook, cross. Bullshit! I've seen you fight angry before. This is different. This is personal. I stopped, chest heaving. My wife's sleeping with Trevor Hastings. Eddie's expression didn't change. The real estate guy? Slick hair, drives the Camaro. That's him. Huh. Eddie tossed me a towel. What are you gonna do about it? I don't know yet. Well, figure it out. But don't do nothing stupid. Guys like Hastings, they count on guys like you doing something stupid. That's how they win. I nodded, but I wasn't really listening. My mind was already working, planning, calculating. That night, I followed Angela's GPS tracker, the one on our shared phone plan that she'd forgotten about. It led me straight to the Pinewood Motor Lodge, same place as the receipt. Her Honda was parked in front of room 12. Next to it, Trevor's cherry-red Camaro gleamed under the parking lot lights. I sat in my Ford for 20 minutes, engine off, watching the closed curtains, imagining what was happening behind them. My wife, my marriage, my life, all of it a lie. Then I got out, walked to Trevor's car, and used my pocket knife to slash all 4 tires. The hiss of escaping air was deeply satisfying. I left a note under his windshield wiper. Hope she's worth the walk home. I was back in my truck, pulling out of the parking lot, when I saw the old woman in the window of room 11. She was watching me, phone in hand, recording. Perfect. Angela stormed into the house at 11:30 that night, heels clicking on the hardwood like gunshots. You slashed Trevor's tires? She screamed. Are you insane? I was sitting in my recliner, beer in hand, watching the Yankees game. Did I? Must have been someone else. Don't play dumb, Kevin. There's video. The woman in the next room filmed you. Huh. Guess I should have been more careful. I took a sip of beer. What were you doing at a motel with Trevor anyway? Her face went white, then red. That's none of your business. Really? Because I'm pretty sure my wife sleeping with our friend is exactly my business. We're not sleeping together, she said, but her voice wavered. I pulled out my phone, opened the screenshots, and held it up. Want to try that again? She stared at the screen, at her own words, her own lies. Kevin, I can explain. Save it. I stood up, walked past her to the front door, and held it open. Get out. This is my house, too. Actually, it's not. I bought it before we got married. Check the deed. Your name's not on it. You can't just kick me out. Watch me. And Angela, I changed the locks this afternoon. So, whatever you're thinking about doing with that key in your purse, don't bother. She looked at me like I'd slapped her. You bastard. Yeah, I said. Guess I am. Now get out of my house. She left. Finally. Slammed the door so hard a picture fell off the wall. I locked the deadbolt, walked back to my recliner, and finished my beer. The Yankees lost in the 9th inning. Seemed appropriate. Millbrook's a small town, 20,000 people, give or take, and everyone knows everyone else's business before they know it themselves. By Monday morning, the whole town had heard about Angela and Trevor. By Monday afternoon, they'd heard about the slashed tires. By Monday evening, I was the talk of every bar, diner, and coffee shop in a 10-mile radius. At Brennan's, my co-workers avoided eye contact. In the break room, conversation stopped when I walked in. My boss, Frank Brennan, called me into his office. Kevin, sit down. I sat. I'm not going to ask about your personal life, Frank said, leaning back in his chair. That's your business. But if it starts affecting your work, it becomes my business. Understand? Yes, sir. Good. Now get back out there. And Kevin, keep your head up. Angela always was too good at pretending. At Murphy's that evening, the sympathy was less subtle. Heard about Angela and the realtor, said Tommy Rizzo, a middleweight who'd been training at Murphy's since high school. Bet he don't hit as hard as you, brother. Thanks, Tommy. Seriously, man, you need anything, you let us know. Great. My humiliation came with play-by-play commentary. Coach Eddie pulled me aside after my workout. "You doing okay?" "Define okay." "Fair enough." He handed me a water bottle. "Look, I know you're hurting, but don't let this turn you into something you're not. You're a good guy, Kevin. Don't let them take that from you." I wanted to believe him. I really did. But good guys finish last, don't they? Good guys get cheated on. Good guys get laughed at. Good guys get their hearts ripped out and stomped on while the whole town watches. Maybe it was time to stop being the good guy. The real humiliation came Friday night at my daughter's school fundraiser. Emma's 17, a senior at Millbrook High. She's smart, beautiful, and since the divorce talk started, she's been firmly on her mother's side. Can't say I blame her. Angela's always been better at playing the victim. I showed up to the fundraiser alone, wearing my best button-down shirt and khakis, tried to look like I had my life together, tried to look like I wasn't dying inside. Then Angela walked in with Trevor, together, in public. She wore a red dress that hugged every curve. He wore a suit that probably cost more than my truck. They walked in like they owned the place, like they hadn't just blown up my entire life, like they were the victims somehow. Emma saw me staring, walked over, arms crossed. "Dad, don't make a scene." "I'm not making a scene, honey. I'm just standing here." Mom has a right to be happy. Does she? That's interesting. What's that supposed to mean? It means your mother's been sleeping with Trevor for months, while I was working 60-hour weeks to pay for your college fund. But sure, she deserves to be happy. Emma's face flushed. "You're such a jerk, Dad. No wonder she left you." She walked away before I could respond, joined her mother and Trevor across the gym. Angela whispered something to her. Emma nodded. They both looked at me. Monica appeared at Angela's elbow like she always did. Best friends since college. Thick as thieves. She saw me watching and smirked. "Poor Kevin," she said, loud enough for nearby parents to hear. All alone. How sad. I felt the eyes on me, the whispers, the judgment. I left before I did something I'd regret. At Murphy's the next morning, I found Coach Eddie in his office going through old fight videos. "I need to learn how to fight dirty," I said. Eddie looked up. "Come again?" "You heard me. I'm tired of playing by the rules. The rules don't work. I play fair, I lose everything. They cheat, they win. So teach me how to fight dirty." Eddie studied me for a long moment. "You sure about this?" "I've never been more sure of anything in my life." "All right." He stood up, grabbed his coat. "But we're not doing this here, come on." He drove us to a bar on the edge of town, O'Malley's, dark, dirty, smelled like cigarettes and regret. We sat in a back booth. "You want to fight dirty?" Eddie said. "Fine, but understand something first. Once you go down that road, there's no coming back. You can't unring that bell." "I understand." "Do you? Because I've seen good men turn into monsters. I've seen revenge eat people alive. You sure Angela's worth that?" "This isn't about Angela anymore," I said. "This is about me. About not being the guy everyone laughs at. About not being the fool." Eddie nodded slowly. "Okay. Then here's lesson 1. Information is power. You want to hurt them? Find their secrets. Everyone's got secrets, Kevin. Everyone. You find those secrets, you own them. How do I do that? You watch, you listen, you dig, and you wait for them to make a mistake, because they will. People like Angela and Trevor, they think they're untouchable. That arrogance, that's their weakness. I pulled out my phone, opened a note app. Keep talking. Eddie smiled. Lesson 2. Turn their friends against them. Monica, for instance. She's loyal to Angela now, but why? What's she getting out of it? Find out. Exploit it. And 3? 3 is the most important. When you strike hard, you strike fast, and you strike when they least expect it. You don't give them time to recover. You don't give them mercy. You end it. I looked at the notes on my phone, then at Eddie. When do we start? We already have. Over the next 2 weeks, I became someone I didn't recognize, someone I'm not sure I liked. I hired a private investigator, guy named Jack Riley, retired cop, owed Eddie a favor. Cost me $2,000 I didn't really have, but it was worth it. Jack found things, lots of things. Trevor Hastings, it turned out, wasn't quite the successful realtor he pretended to be. He'd declared bankruptcy 3 years ago, had 2 failed businesses before the real estate gig, owed money to several local contractors who'd done work on his properties that he'd never paid for. Angela had secrets too. Student loans she'd hidden from me, credit card debt, a DUI from college that she'd expunged from her record but that Jack found anyway. And Monica? Monica was the most interesting of all. Turns out, I'd fired her 6 years ago. She'd worked at Brennan's for 3 months, got caught stealing from the warehouse, and I'd been the one to report her. She'd blamed me for ruining her life ever since. Suddenly, her loyalty to Angela made a lot more sense. I took all this information, and I waited, watched, planned. At Brennan's holiday party, Trevor showed up as Angela's date. Bold move. The party was at Frank's house, a big colonial on the nice side of town. 50 people, open bar, catered food. I arrived alone, nursed a beer, and waited. Trevor found me by the pool table. "Kevin," he said, extending his hand, "we should talk." I looked at his hand, didn't shake it. "Should we?" "Look, I know this is awkward." "Awkward?" I laughed. "That's one word for it. Angela and we didn't mean for this to happen. It just did. These things happen." "These things happen," I repeated. "You know what else happens, Trevor? Karma. Consequences. Justice." His smile faltered. "Are you threatening me?" "No, I'm educating you. See, I did some research on you, Trevor. Bankruptcy in 2020, failed businesses, unpaid contractors. You're not quite the success story you pretend to be, are you?" His face went pale. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Sure you don't. Tell me, does Angela know about any of this? Does she know you're basically broke? That the Camaro's leased? That your house is underwater?" "You need to shut up, Kevin." "Or what? You'll steal my wife?" "Oh wait, you already did that. Guess you'll have to come up with something new." He stepped closer. "You're pathetic. You know that? Angela told me all about you, how boring you are, how small, how she settled for you because she didn't think she could do better. But she can. She is." The party had gone quiet. Everyone was watching. I smiled. "You're right, Trevor. I am small. I'm boring. I'm just a warehouse supervisor who works 60 hours a week. But you know what I'm not? I'm not a fraud. I'm not a liar. And I'm not someone who has to steal another man's wife because he can't get one of his own." "You son of a—" "Gentlemen," Frank said, stepping between us. "That's enough. Kevin, maybe you should go." I set down my beer, looked around the room, at Angela, who was staring at me with wide eyes, at Monica, who was whispering to someone, at all the people I'd worked with for years. "You're right, Frank, I should go. This party's full of snakes anyway." I left to scattered applause from the warehouse guys. Small victory. But it felt good. That night, Emma posted a TikTok. Showed up on my feed because we were still connected. The video was her, lip-syncing to some song about deadbeat dads. The caption, "When your dad's such a loser, even your mom had to upgrade." 300,000 views in 6 hours. I stared at my phone for a long time. At my daughter's face. At the comments from strangers calling me every name in the book. And something inside me broke. Not broke sad, broke angry. I called Eddie. "I'm done playing defense," I said. "Time to go on offense." "You sure?" "I've never been more sure of anything." "All right," Eddie said. "Then let's give this town something to really talk about." Monday morning, I walked into Millbrook Savings Bank and moved every penny from our joint accounts into a new account in my name only. Perfectly legal, my lawyer, a sharp woman named Patricia Gomez, had confirmed it. The money I'd earned, I could move. $43,000. Gone. Just like that. I canceled the credit cards Angela had in her name, but that I paid for. Pulled Emma's tuition payment for next semester. Also my money. Also legal. Called the insurance company and removed Angela from my car insurance and health plan. We were separated, after all. No point in paying for someone who wasn't my wife anymore. By noon, my phone was blowing up. Angela, what the hell did you do? Angela, call me right now, Angela. You can't do this. Angela, my card was declined at lunch. I didn't respond. Just forwarded the messages to Patricia, who'd told me to document everything. At Brennan's, I worked my shift like nothing was wrong. Frank didn't ask questions. The warehouse guys gave me nods of approval. Word had spread about what I'd done. In their eyes, I was finally standing up for myself. That afternoon, I drove to Trevor's office. Hastings Real Estate, a small storefront on Main Street with his face plastered on the window. Trevor Hastings, your dream home awaits. I parked across the street and waited. At 5:15, Trevor came out, phone to his ear, laughing about something. He walked to his Camaro, new tires I noticed, and that's when I made my move. I'd bought a can of spray paint that morning. Red, bright red. I walked up to his car and sprayed "Home Wrecker" across the hood in letters 2 feet tall. Trevor saw me, started running. What the hell are you doing? I finished the word, tossed the can in a nearby trash bin, and turned to face him. What's it look like I'm doing? You're insane. He pulled out his phone. I'm calling the cops. Go ahead. Tell them you're sleeping with my wife and I'm upset about it. I'm sure they'll be very sympathetic. A crowd was gathering, people with phones out, recording. This was going to be all over social media in minutes. Angela's Honda screeched into the parking lot. She jumped out, saw the car, saw me. Kevin, what have you done? What you did to me, I said calmly. Except I did it to his car instead of his life. You're going to jail for this. Maybe, but it'll be worth it to see the look on your face right now. Trevor was on the phone with the police. Angela was screaming. The crowd was filming. And I was smiling. Because for the first time in months, I wasn't the victim. I wasn't the fool. I was the guy who fought back. The cops came. Officer Mike Patterson went to high school with him. He took statements, looked at the car, looked at me. Kevin, I gotta take you in. I understand. But off the record? Good for you, man. Trevor's had this coming for a while. At the station, they processed me. Vandalism, misdemeanor. Patricia showed up within an hour, got me released on my own recognizance. Court date in 6 weeks. That was stupid, she said as we walked to her car. I know. Was it worth it? I thought about Trevor's face, Angela's shock, the crowd's approval. Yeah, it was. Patricia sighed. Well, at least you didn't hit him. That's something. Now, let's talk strategy, because Angela's going to come after you hard for this. She was right. The next morning, I received a restraining order. Angela claimed she feared for her safety, that I was unstable, that I might hurt her or Emma. The hearing was in Judge Morrison's courtroom. He was old, grumpy, and didn't suffer fools. Angela's lawyer, a slick guy named Richard Pemberton, painted me as a dangerous, unhinged husband who couldn't accept that his marriage was over. Patricia countered with the affair, the lies, the betrayal, showed the judge the text messages, the hotel receipts, the timeline of events. Judge Morrison listened to both sides, then looked at me over his glasses. Mr. Walsh, did you spray paint Mr. Hastings' car? Yes, Your Honor. Why? Because he's sleeping with my wife, and I was angry. Understandable, but also illegal. You'll pay restitution for the damage, and you'll stay away from Mr. Hastings and his property. Understood? Yes, Your Honor. As for the restraining order, he looked at Angela. Mrs. Walsh, your husband spray-painted a car. He didn't threaten you. He didn't touch you. He didn't come near you. I'm denying your request. If that changes, come back and we'll revisit. But I'm not issuing a restraining order over vandalism. Next case. Angela looked like she'd been slapped. Outside the courthouse, I found Monica waiting by my truck. "You think you're so smart," she said. "You think you're winning." "I don't think I'm winning, Monica. I know I am. You have no idea what you're dealing with." "Don't I? I know you're the one who's been feeding Angela ideas. I know you're the one who introduced her to Trevor. I know you've been pulling strings this whole time." Her eyes widened. Just a fraction, but enough. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Sure you don't. Tell me, Monica, does Angela know you got fired from Brennan's for stealing? Does she know you've been using her to get back at me?" "You're crazy." "Maybe, but I'm also right. And sooner or later, Angela's going to figure out that you're not her friend. You're just using her." Monica's face twisted with rage. "You ruined my life 6 years ago. Now I'm ruining yours. How does it feel, Kevin? Honestly, it feels like I finally understand what I'm up against." She stormed off. I got in my truck and drove to Murphy's. Eddie was in the ring working with a young kid on footwork. "Heard about the courthouse," he said when he saw me. "You're making waves." "That's the idea." "What's next?" "I'm going to expose them, all of them. Angela, Trevor, Monica. I'm going to show this town exactly who they really are." "How?" I pulled out my phone, showed him the file Jack Riley had sent me that morning. Bank records, property records, text messages, emails. "With the truth." Eddie whistled. "That's a lot of ammunition." "Yeah, and I'm going to use every bit of it." That night I created a website. Simple, clean, just the facts. The truth about Trevor Hastings and Angela Walsh. I posted everything: the bankruptcy, the unpaid contractors, the credit card debt, the affair timeline, the text messages, the hotel receipts. I didn't editorialize, didn't need to. The facts spoke for themselves. Then I shared the link, posted it on Facebook, tagged everyone I knew, sent it to the local newspaper, emailed it to Angela's law firm. By morning, it had been viewed 3,000 times. By noon, 10,000. By evening, Angela's boss called her into his office. She'd lied on her resume about graduating summa cum laude. She'd actually graduated with a 3.2 GPA. Not bad, but not what she'd claimed. Trevor's clients started calling, asking about the unpaid contractors, about the bankruptcy, about whether their deposits were safe. Monica got fired from her job at the bank. Turns out her supervisor didn't appreciate being associated with someone involved in such a public scandal. And me? I sat in my house, in my recliner, drinking a beer and watching it all unfold on social media. My phone rang. Patricia. "Kevin, what the hell did you do?" "I told the truth." "You just opened yourself up to a defamation lawsuit." "Only if what I posted isn't true." "And it is. Every word of it. You saw the documentation." She was quiet for a moment. "You're playing with fire." "I know, but I'm tired of being the one who gets burned." "Well, congratulations. You just became the villain of this story." I smiled. "Good. Villains are more interesting anyway." The website stayed up for 3 days before Angela's lawyer sent a cease and desist letter. I took it down, but by then, it didn't matter. Screenshots had been shared thousands of times. The local newspaper had picked up the story. A blogger from Albany had written a piece called The Millbrook Revenge Saga. I was famous. Or infamous, depending on who you asked. Emma stopped speaking to me entirely, blocked my number, blocked me on social media. I tried reaching out through her friends, but they'd all taken her side. I'd lost my daughter, maybe forever. That hurt more than anything Angela had done. But I couldn't stop now. I'd come too far, burned too many bridges. The plan for the final act came to me at Murphy's, watching Eddie train a heavyweight named Carlos. The kid was good, but he kept dropping his guard. Eddie kept telling him, "Protect yourself, always protect yourself. The knockout comes when you're not paying attention." That's when it hit me. I pulled out my phone and sent 4 text messages. To Angela, We need to talk. About Emma. About the divorce. About everything. Meet me at the cabin Saturday at noon. Just us. No lawyers, no games. To Trevor. Angela's planning to dump you. Meet me at the cabin Saturday at noon. I'll show you proof. To Monica. Angela knows what you did. She's going to the police. Meet me at the cabin Saturday at noon. We need to talk. To Emma. Your college fund is at the cabin. If you want it, come get it. Saturday at noon. The cabin was my uncle's old hunting lodge, about 30 miles outside Millbrook. On a lake, isolated, no cell service. I'd inherited it when he died 2 years ago. Nobody knew about it except family. It was perfect. Saturday morning, I drove to the cabin early, set up cameras in the main room, 4 of them, hidden in books and picture frames, all streaming to a private YouTube link. Then I sent that link to 50 people, friends from Murphy's, co-workers from Brennan's, neighbors, people from high school, the local newspaper editor. Subject line, "The truth about my marriage, live, noon today." At 11:45, Angela arrived first. She parked her Honda and walked up to the cabin, looking nervous. "Kevin," she called out. "In here." She came inside, saw me sitting at the old wooden table. "Where's Emma?" "She's not coming." "You said—" "I lied." "Sit down, Angela." She hesitated, then sat. "What is this about?" "The truth. Finally." Trevor arrived at 11:50, walked in, saw Angela, stopped. "What's going on?" "Sit down, Trevor." "I'm not sitting anywhere until you tell me what this is." "It's a conversation, one we should have had months ago." "Sit down." He sat, looked at Angela. "Did you know about this?" "No." Monica arrived at 11:55, saw everyone, turned to leave. "Door's locked," I said, holding up the key. "Sit down, Monica." "Screw you, Kevin. Sit down." Something in my voice made her comply. I looked at the 3 of them, at the people who'd destroyed my life, who'd lied to me, betrayed me, humiliated me, and I smiled. "Let's talk about secrets," I said. "Angela, want to go first? Want to tell Trevor about the $50,000 in credit card debt you've been hiding? Or should I?" Angela's face went white. "How do you—" "Or Trevor. Want to tell Angela about the bankruptcy, about the 3 contractors who filed liens against your properties, about how you're about 3 months from losing everything?" Trevor stood up. "I'm leaving." "Sit down. We're not done. Monica, your turn. Want to tell Angela why you really befriended her? Want to tell her about how you got fired from Brennan's, about how this whole thing was revenge against me?" Monica's hands clenched into fists. "You're lying." "Am I?" "Angela, ask her. Ask her why she introduced you to Trevor. Ask her why she kept pushing you to leave me. Ask her what she gets out of destroying our marriage." Angela looked at Monica. "Monica? He's lying, Angie. Don't listen to him." "I got fired 6 years ago for stealing," Monica said, her voice shaking. "Kevin reported me. I lost everything, my job, my reputation. My fiancé left me, I had nothing, and he didn't care. He just moved on with his perfect little life." "So you decided to ruin mine," I said. "Yes!" Monica screamed. "Yes, I did! And it worked! Look at you! You're miserable! You've lost everything." "Not everything," I said quietly. "I've still got my self-respect. Can you say the same?" Angela stood up. "You used me? This whole time you were using me to get back at Kevin? Angie, Get out. Get out right now." "But I said get out." Monica ran. The door slammed behind her. Trevor stood up. "This is insane. I'm calling the police." "No signal out here," I said. "And before you go, there's one more thing you should know. This whole conversation, it's been streaming live. About 200 people are watching right now." The color drained from his face. "You're blowing smoke." I held up my phone, showed him the view count. 312. "Oh, God," Angela whispered. Trevor lunged at me. I'd been expecting it. Sidestepped, let him crash into the table. He came at me again, swinging wild. I caught his arm, twisted, put him on the ground, held him there. You done? I asked. He was breathing hard, face pressed against the floor. You're dead. You hear me? Dead. Noted. I let him up, stepped back. He grabbed his keys from the table, started for the door. Trevor, I said, your car keys won't help. I took your distributor cap. You're walking home. He stared at me, then at Angela. Then he ran. Angela and I were alone. She was crying, mascara running down her face. Why did you do this? Because you broke me, I said simply, and I wanted you to know what that felt like. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, Kevin, I never meant… Yes, you did. You meant every bit of it. You wanted something more exciting, someone more successful, someone who wasn't me. And that's fine. You're allowed to want those things. But you didn't have to lie. You didn't have to cheat. You could have just left. I know. Do you? Because from where I'm standing, you still don't get it. You destroyed our family. You turned our daughter against me. You humiliated me in front of the entire town. And for what? For Trevor? For Monica? For some fantasy of a better life? I made a mistake. No, a mistake is forgetting to buy milk. This was a choice, a series of choices. And now you get to live with the consequences. I walked to the door, unlocked it. You can go now. What about us? There is no us. There hasn't been for a long time. Maybe there never was. She walked past me, stopped at the doorway. I did love you. Once. I know. I loved you too. But love isn't enough, is it? Not when respect is gone. She left. I sat down at the table, pulled out my phone, and ended the stream. 487 viewers. The comments were rolling in, some sympathetic, some angry, some just entertained by the drama. I didn't read them, just closed the app and sat in the silence of the cabin. It was done. Finally done. The fallout was immediate and spectacular. By Sunday morning, the video had been downloaded and re-uploaded a dozen times. Facebook groups were analyzing it. Reddit threads were debating whether I was a hero or a villain. The local news ran a segment about vigilante justice in the digital age. Angela's law firm put her on administrative leave, pending an investigation into her resume discrepancies. Trevor's real estate license was suspended after 3 contractors filed formal complaints. Monica deleted all her social media accounts and, according to rumors, moved to Buffalo to stay with family. Emma called me Sunday night. First time in weeks. Dad? Emma, hi. I saw the video. I figured you might. Was it true? About Monica? Every word. She was quiet for a long moment. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I took Mom's side without hearing yours. I'm sorry about the TikTok. I'm sorry for everything. It's okay, honey. No, it's not. I was awful to you, and you didn't deserve it. Your mom and I, we both made mistakes, but you're not responsible for our marriage falling apart. That's on us. Can I come home? This is your home. It's always been your home. She started crying. I love you, Dad. I love you too, sweetheart. We talked for an hour. About everything. About nothing. About how we were going to move forward. When I hung up, I felt lighter than I had in months. But I wasn't done yet. There was one more move to make. Monday morning, I called a town meeting, used the community center, sent notices to everyone on the local email list. Come hear the truth about the Millbrook revenge saga. Monday, 7 p.m. Patricia thought I was insane. You're just going to make yourself a bigger target. Maybe. But I'm tired of other people controlling the narrative. It's time I told my side. All of it. The community center was packed. 200 people, maybe more. Standing room only. I saw faces I recognized. Co-workers, neighbors, people from high school, the newspaper editor. Even Judge Morrison was there, sitting in the back. I walked to the front of the room. No microphone. Didn't need one. Thank you all for coming, I said. I know there's been a lot of talk about me lately. About what I did. About whether I'm a hero or a villain or just a guy who lost his mind. So I wanted to set the record straight. The room was silent. 6 months ago, I found out my wife was cheating on me. With a friend, in my house, in my bed. And I didn't know what to do. I felt humiliated, betrayed, lost. So I did what I thought I was supposed to do. I tried to be the bigger person. I tried to move on quietly. I tried to protect my daughter from the ugliness of it all. I paused, looked around the room. But being the bigger person didn't work. Because while I was being quiet, they were spreading rumors about me, making me out to be the bad guy, turning my daughter against me, laughing at me behind my back. So I decided to stop being quiet. I decided to fight back. Some of you think what I did was wrong, that I went too far, that I should have just walked away. And maybe you're right. Maybe I did go too far. But you know what? I don't regret it. Because for the first time in months, I'm not the victim. I'm not the fool. I'm the guy who stood up for himself. Someone in the crowd started clapping. Then another. Then another. Soon, half the room was applauding. The other half looked uncomfortable. Angela's friends, Trevor's clients, people who thought I'd crossed a line. I'm not asking for your approval, I said. I'm not asking for your forgiveness. I'm just asking you to understand. When someone takes everything from you, your marriage, your dignity, your reputation, you have two choices. You can lie down and take it, or you can fight back. I chose to fight back. I pulled out a folder, held it up. This folder contains divorce papers. I'm filing tomorrow. Angela gets nothing except what she came into the marriage with, which is nothing. The house is mine. The savings are mine. Emma's college fund is mine, and I'm not giving any of it up. More applause, louder this time. As for Trevor, his real estate license is suspended. His business is failing. His reputation is destroyed, and he did it to himself. I just made sure everyone knew about it. I looked around the room one more time. And Monica? She's gone, moved away. Because when you build your life on lies and revenge, eventually it all comes crashing down. I set the folder on the table in front of me. That's all I have to say. Thank you for listening. The applause was deafening. After the meeting, people came up to me, shook my hand, told me their own stories of betrayal and revenge, told me I'd inspired them. Coach Eddie pulled me aside. You did good, kid. Did I? Yeah. You stood up for yourself. You didn't let them break you. That takes guts. Feels more like insanity. Sometimes they're the same thing. Patricia found me in the parking lot. Well, you've certainly made an impression. Good or bad? Honestly, both, but mostly good. Angela's lawyer called. She wants to settle. No fight. She'll sign whatever you want. Really? Really. I think she just wants this to be over. So do I. Then it will be. I'll draw up the papers. You'll be divorced by Christmas. Christmas. 2 months away. A new year. A new life. I drove home that night, pulled into my driveway, and sat in my truck for a long time. The house looked the same. Same peeling paint. Same crooked mailbox. Same porch light that flickered. But it felt different. It felt like mine again. I went inside, grabbed a beer from the fridge, and sat in my recliner. My phone buzzed. A text from Emma. Proud of you, Dad. Love you. I smiled. Then I opened my laptop and deleted the YouTube channel. Deleted the website. Deleted every trace of the revenge saga I'd created. It was done. All of it. I'd won, or lost, depending on how you looked at it. But either way, I'd survived. And sometimes, that's enough. 3 weeks later, the divorce was finalized. Angela signed everything without protest, moved to Albany for a fresh start. We haven't spoken since. Trevor's real estate business folded. Last I heard, he was working at a car dealership in Poughkeepsie. Monica never came back to Millbrook. Emma moved back in with me. She's applying to colleges now. We're rebuilding our relationship. It's slow. It's hard. But it's happening. At Murphy's, I'm back to training 3 nights a week. Coach Eddie's teaching me new combinations. Says I'm fighting better than ever. You're looser, he says, more confident, like you finally figured out who you are. Maybe I have. The town still talks about me, probably always will. Some people think I'm a hero. Some think I'm a villain. Most just think I'm the guy who lost his mind over a cheating wife. They're all right, and all wrong. Because I'm not a hero. I'm not a villain. I'm just a man who refused to be a victim. And in the end, that's all that matters. Last Saturday, I was at O'Malley's having a beer when a young guy approached me. Mid-20s, nervous. Are you Kevin Walsh? Depends who's asking. I saw your video. The one at the cabin. My girlfriend's been cheating on me. I didn't know what to do, but after watching you, I found the courage to leave her. Good for you. I just wanted to say thank you for showing me it's okay to stand up for yourself. He walked away before I could respond. I finished my beer, paid my tab, and drove home. The house was dark, empty, quiet. But it was mine, and that was enough. I walked inside, locked the door behind me, and smiled. They'd called me the villain. I'd worn the title better than they ever wore their masks.